give him a big round of applause. Shantanu, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible? Okay, cool. I have been given 10 minutes here. Such a privilege and pleasure to be here. My name is Shantanu Deshpande. This is not counting down, so I can keep talking, right? This isn't counting down. Okay. My name is Shantanu Deshpande. I am the founder and CEO of Bombay Shaving Company. We are a 9-year-old company, and we are now the #2 shaving brand in India after Gillette. But Gillette is a 120-year-old company, and we are only 9 years old. So hopefully we will change that over a period of time. Before I came here, I wanted to ask, and usually whenever I go to, this is the largest hall I have ever spoken to. Okay, this is the largest hall I've ever spoken to. So what I usually do is I ask people whether they've heard of Bombay Shaving Company or not. So raise of hands before this talk, how many of you have heard of Bombay Shaving Company? Oh wow, really? That's great. So I have 10 minutes and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story building out a consumer brand company in India. In 2015, 2016, there were a lot of things that were happening. I was a consultant at McKinsey. I'm an IIM Lucknow graduate. McKinsey was my first job, and I was seeing that the world around me was changing very, very quickly. There was investment by large companies. So companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Flipkart, Google were investing in India. So from one pin code in India to any pin code in India, you could send a product for under 70 rupees. Okay? So that was one big theme. The second big theme was companies like Reliance, Airtel, Vodafone were investing in infrastructure. So data was available to 50 to 60 crore people in a span of 5 to 6 years at the world's lowest data rates. Companies like Xiaomi, Oppo, Apple, Samsung. Companies like Xiaomi, Apple, Samsung were now making phones with data on it at 5 to 8,000 rupees at the very base level. So suddenly, you had a country which in 5 to 7 years transformed into a country where everyone had a smartphone, everyone had cheap internet, and you could take a product from one warehouse to every pin code in India for under 70 rupees. And all of this happened in a matter of 3 to 4 years, right? Companies like Amazon, Flipkart became very, very big in the e-commerce space, and that's when I started my D2C company, Bombay Shaving Company. And I actually want to talk about, very simply, why I believe that building a consumer brand requires you to do 3 things, okay? And I want to talk about those 3 things because when I started my company, nobody believed that we could take on Gillette. Nobody believed that we could take on Philips. Nobody believed that we could build a company where consumers will move their habits towards us. And those 3 things are the following. Number 1, a valuable, innovative product. Number 2, an aspirational brand. And number 3, a delightful experience. And if you can get these 3 things right, you can actually build a brand in India in any category. It doesn't matter whether the category is big or small. It doesn't matter whether the category is competitive, cluttered, or monopolized, duopolized, doesn't matter. You need to get these 3 things right, and I'll repeat them again. Number 1, a valuable, innovative product. Number 2, an aspirational brand. Number 3, a delightful experience. And I'll go through each of them with examples from my journey. So first one is a valuable product. How many people here shave? Okay, good, enough. You guys have seen a shaving foam or a shaving cream? You've seen a shaving foam? Okay. A shaving foam for the last 50 years has been a can with a white foam coming out of it which you put on your face and you shave. It's a great product. But it's been the same for many, many years. It's not changed at all. You don't need it to change. If something is not broken, don't fix it. But we realized that a 17, 18-year-old boy who's going to shave for the first time might need something that is slightly different because he wants something new. So what we did is we realized that the foam goes closest to the nostril, so fragrance is important. Number two is Indian men shave before they shower. They don't shave after they shower. So they shave with a t-shirt or a vest on, and they don't like the foam leaking onto the neck. Okay? So we made our foam thicker, we made it smell better, and most importantly, we put charcoal in the foam. So when you put charcoal in the foam becomes black and gray in color. So suddenly, the foam looks very different from what it was. It smells very different. So now, when the user is putting our foam on his face and washes it off, the entire basin becomes black. And the user thinks, oh wow, not only did I get a good shave, but my face is clean as well. And actually, the charcoal doesn't clean the face. It is purely a placebo effect. But you give value to the consumer, and the consumer feels that, okay, I got a better product at the same price. And every product of ours, we are able to do this in small ways. So learning number one, giving a valuable, innovative product does not need you to be a scientist or an inventor. It just requires you to be very, very close to the consumer and understand their behaviors at a very nuanced level. Example number two, we launched a women's business. Our entire thesis is that if you don't want hair on your body, we are the brand for you. Any unwanted hair, we will remove it. Okay? So someone like me or Sabir, you have a completely clean head, we will have a head shaver for you. You have a beard, we'll have a trimmer for you. You are going to the gym, we'll give you a complete solution for your body hair. You're a woman, wants a sensitive shave on your arm, we'll give a sensitive razor for you. So anywhere you want to remove hair, we'll give it to you. So example number two is from women's shaving. Men shave cheek to chin. Tactile feedback, visual feedback, sonic feedback. Small strokes, thick hair, dense hair. Totally different from women. Women shave in the shower, ankle to thigh, wrist to arm. Longer hair, sparser hair, softer hair. So the idea for women is not to give them a safe razor. The idea for women is to give them a razor where longer strokes are possible. So the only way to do that is if the blade gap is slightly higher and the hair goes behind the razor. I know I'm getting into technicalities, but this is the insight that led us to create a razor where the blade gap was 25 microns more. And that razor today is the #1 women's razor in the country today within 3 years of launch with a market share of almost 13%. And that is what I mean by valuable, innovative product. It cannot be very expensive because consumers won't move. It cannot be a Me Too product because consumers won't want to move. It has to be valuable, it has to be innovative. The next thing is aspirational brand. When a consumer buys a product, when a consumer buys Red Bull, consumer is not only buying it for the drink. Consumer buys a Red Bull because in that Red Bull can is encapsulated a Max Verstappen F1 race, 2 football clubs. Every time someone does something spectacular and full of energy, Red Bull's can encapsulates that. So when someone drinks Red Bull, it's not just that drink. It is everything that the brand stands for. And building that takes a lot of time. It requires very consistent, very boring often storytelling for a brand manager. But for us as Bombay Shaving Company, when someone is using my products, I want them to think beyond just the product. I want them to remember my podcast. I want them to remember who we are when we sponsor an IPL team. Everything that Bombay Shaving Company stands for, from being a rebel to being a challenger to being entrepreneurial. There are 3 things we stand for. It has to come out in that person at 7 in the morning when they're using our product. The second thing is aspirational brand, and that's what the consumer's emotion is. Red Bull is like my role model when it comes to aspirational brands. And the third thing is delightful experience. The product has to give a delightful experience for those 5-6 minutes that you are going to use a product. Because my products are used individually in the privacy of the bathroom with 0 word of mouth. 0. So the only way I will actually increase my sales is if the same customer comes and buys me over and over again. And for that, the product has to deliver delight. And delight comes from very small, nuanced things in my world. It comes from that 1% extra fragrance. It comes from that small amount of note that stays back. So for example, after someone shaves and then they take a bath and then they come out with a towel, they still smell my aftershave on their nose. They still smell it and they feel it. And then when they use my perfume, it reminds them of the aftershave. So the person leaves home, whether it's an off for office, for a date, for an event, for a dinner out with their family, they go with the feeling that I have been prepared by Bombay Shaving Company. So my experience doesn't last only for that 1 or 2 minutes, it's almost for 3 to 4 hours after the usage. And that's where the delight comes in. Nobody believed when we were zero, when we were 10 crores a year, when we were 30 crores a year, when we were 100 crores a year, and now we are 300 crores of revenue a year and now profitable. Still, people don't believe that Bombay Shaving Company can take on Gillette because Gillette is just too strong. But we believe that we can take on Gillette because, frankly, I think that we have found a way to really tackle the Gillette consumer at the core. Gillette is a razor and blade company. I am obsessed by taking the razor and blade market, which is the center of the men's grooming journey, and attacking it from all sides. So shaving foam, shaving cream, aftershave, and trimmers are the entire periphery of razors and blades. In razors and blades, I have products from 50 paise all the way to 8,000 rupees, the entire assortment. But at every price point, a product that ladders the consumer up on the aspirational brand, valuable product, and delightful experience. So right now, we are doing almost 15 lakh units sold per month. We believe that we can get to 2 crore bathrooms in the next 3 years. In those 2 crore bathrooms, we can give 5 products per bathroom that takes care of a family's entire need for removing any hair on the body. A 45-year-old man who shaves every day before going to office, we have 2 products for him. His wife, who has very varied hair removal requirements which are at different frequency, before she goes to work, before she meets her friends, we have products for her. A teenage son who's going to trim his mustache for the first time, we have a 400 rupee product for him. A daughter who's about to start going to work and is exploring non-waxing solutions, we have products for her. The grandfather who has wrinkles on his neck and wants a softer razor, we have products for him. Anyone in India who wants to remove unwanted hair from their body, Bombay Shaving Company is the brand. And that is the obsession I have. Aspirational brand, valuable product, delightful customer experience, and every step of the way from 300 crores to 500 crores to 1,000 crores until we hit 1,800 crores, which is Gillette's revenue, people will say that we will not be able to beat Gillette until the day we actually beat Gillette, and we will do that before 2030. And I hope every founder here genuinely has to believe, because frankly, it's a lonely journey. For the longest time, no one will believe in what you're doing. You cannot show weakness. Your whisper becomes an organizational scream. Your employees look at you for motivation. Your investors look at you for confidence. Your family always is worried about you being stressed. So you will absorb a lot of this. So find friends around you. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. And most of all, don't lose courage in conviction in what you believe. And the day you stop believing, then stop doing it. You have nothing to prove to anyone else. If you're a founder, you have the most to lose if your company doesn't do well. So if you lose conviction, stop doing it that day. There is no glory in failure of this nature. But till that time, have 100% faith and back yourself, because if you don't back yourself, no one else will. That's it from my side. Thank you so much. Thank you. You've been amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give big round of applause to Mr. Shantanu? The guy who made grooming so essential that you can skip morning coffee but not grooming. Thank you so much for being here, being in Bengaluru, and inspiring whole bunch out here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
So much young energy at this event. At the backstage also, we've had so many students come through, so it's amazing. And those of you who are on Instagram, my ID is Swati DB. And like Maitri mentioned, I'm the co-founder of Cash Karo. And today I want to share with you my journey from growing up in a small town of Ambala to building a 4,000 crore business. And also, during the process, the challenges that we faced of being a category builder in India, of personally as well, closing 130 crores Series C round while I was, in the process of getting a kidney transplant. So, everything goes together, and that's the power of our mind. It can manage everything. So that's what we're going to talk about in the next 10 minutes together. And in this process, I also want to share with you the lessons that we've learned through this journey. So starting off with, back to 1999, I was growing up in Ambala. I completed my class 10. And my dad actually came to me and he said, here's an advertisement for the Singapore Airlines scholarship. They're taking 25 students from all over India to study in Singapore. Why don't you apply for this? And I said, what are the chances that a girl from Ambala is going to be among the top 25 students? So I won't apply. And that's when I checked myself and self-doubt. And that was my first lesson, that we cannot write ourselves off. The world is wanting to do it, but you can't do it. So we must always try and see where we end up. And that's what I did. And actually, I did get that scholarship. And then I got a scholarship after that to the London School of Economics. And at that time, they offered me 80%. And I remember my grandfather was saying at home that, she's managed to get 80% scholarship. We must figure out as a family how to send her there. And that was my second lesson, that when, that was my second lesson, that when elders in the family encourage the girls in the family to grow up with ambition, to take their careers seriously and to pursue higher education, that's when more female entrepreneurs will come into the picture. So that support from family and from my grandfather actually got me to the LSE. And after that, I worked at Goldman Sachs in London for 5 years. I did investment banking. And then I met my husband, Rohan. We actually started our business in the UK called Pouring Pounds, which we expanded to India and launched Cash Karo. So now, 10 years later, Cash Karo is the largest cashback app in the country. So I'm sure आप सब लोग online shopping करते हैं, whether it's Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Nykaa, Booking.com, कोई भी site. अगर आप Cash Karo से उस site पे जाके shop करेंगे, you will always get extra cashback from us. It can be 5%, 10%, even up to 50%. We have flash deals with 80, 90% cashback. So you can literally get like a 3,000 rupee jeans for like 200 bucks. So there are some amazing, amazing deals to check out. So that's what we do here. And recently, we also launched an app called Earn Karo. So I'm telling you this business background because it's going to, feed into the other lessons that we've learned on the way as well. And Earn Karo is actually used by a lot of students, by a lot of Facebook group owners, WhatsApp group owners, Telegram group owners. Telegram, by the way, is the most underrated social media platform in India, which is exploding right now because the number of people on it and the deals that they're sharing are insane. So Earn Karo se jitne Telegrammers hain, they make their affiliate links for all e-commerce and share it in their groups. And we've made, bots for them that allows them to do it in an automatic way. And they earn money every time someone shops via their link. So people on Earn Karo, how much are they earning? You can't imagine, 10, 15 lakhs a month. A month. That's more than most of our corporate job salaries. And that's why those are the stories I wanted to bring out. So we actually launched the BAD podcast 2 months ago, which stands for Be a Dreamer. So going back to, my journey, and, this is the context for what Cash Karo and Earn Karo does, both of the apps, please check out. Shameless plug from an entrepreneur, always, no matter if it's Series C or Series D. So as we were, as we launched Cash Karo, we thought it's time to raise money because we needed to expand in India. So we decided to do a funds and, friends and family round in the UK. And I sent an email to, some of my Goldman colleagues, LSE, saying we're going to raise money. We've just launched in India. And you won't believe the third lesson comes right here. As I went to those meetings, we had a target of $250,000 to be raised, that week. But we managed to do $750,000 in 48 hours. And that raise really happened because people were interested in the Indian proposition. People were excited कि ये cashback जो है ये India में ज़रूर चलेगा. The product market fit was good. It's a way to actually grow with Indian e-commerce. Why won't it work? If somebody knows about Cash Karo, why won't they use it? And the very important thing was that before every meeting, I used to kind of imagine what do I want that meeting to be like? मैं क्या बोलूँगी? कोई मुझसे क्या पूछेगा? What will be my answer? The more you rehearse in your mind and the more you visualize, that's when things happen. So you go into the meeting knowing that it's yours. You go into it with that energy, and that energy actually converts things. And by now we've raised 250 crores, but I know that the first 5 crores came because of this. So that is my lesson number 3. And then after that, we actually moved to India. We started our, growing Cash Karo here. We did a Series A round led by Kalari Capital. And then I requested Vani that please introduce me to Mr. Tata, because it was my dream to have Mr. Ratan Tata as an investor. And, she said, I don't know if he invests in this space. I said, wo sab chodo, baad mein pata lagega, ek meeting kara do, just one meeting. And we got that meeting. So we went to the Taj, me and Rohan. And, when you go to the Taj, you go straight into the lift, you press C, it takes you to the chambers. So Mr. Tata's chambers open up from that lift, and it's wooden paneled. It's beautiful. You know कि आप किसी special जगह पे आए हो. And Mr. Tata was sitting at his, long table, having his lunch, dessert. And they told us कि he's sitting here, you can pitch here on the side. So first I went and stood there. Then I thought, सिर्फ 20 minute की meeting है. If I'm standing there and pitching, and he's sitting here, how will we have a connection? There will be no conversation. I have 20 minutes to make my dream come true of having him as an investor. Aisa nahi hoga. And that was my lesson number 4. I asked him, sir, do you mind if instead of standing there and pitching, I sit across from you, across the table, and we just have a conversation? And he said, yeah, sure, do that. And I learned that if you don't ask, you will never get. Don't assume the answer to be no, always ask the question. And in doing that, I think that was the game-changing moment for our meeting with Mr. Tata, because we sat across from him there. Those 20 minutes, he was engaged. We had a good conversation. And at the end of it, I said, sir, what do you think of our business? And he said, in a country that loves to save money, you are giving free money. What's there not to love? And, that was an amazing meeting. So we took a photo with him. We went away. 2 weeks stuck, we didn't hear back anything. So we thought, chalo, nahi hoega investment, but photo to mil gayi, fine, if nothing else. And then I get a message at 10 p.m. saying, Swati, this is Venkat, call me. And I was like, Venkat is an intern at Cash Karo, raat ko 10 baje kyun message kar raha hai? So I ignored it. Then later I thought, maybe there is something that he's messaging for. So I said, okay, call me. And he says, this is Venkat from Mr. Tata's office. We want to make an investment in your business. And of course, that was a game changer, because having Mr. Tata on our cap table as a shareholder, just gave us so much credibility. He backed us when we really needed it. And I think that also changed the course of our business. And that's why, and for so many other reasons, of course, we all miss him and remember him fondly. But he's had an incredible impact, on us. After that, we went and raised our Series B, $10 million from Korea Investment Partners. Then our Series C, After Global, was 130 crores. So this was 2 years ago, in September 2022. I'm trying to close this round, and at the same time, the doctor also tells me that you need a kidney transplant because my kidneys were failing. I had this problem since the last 20 years, but I managed it fine all through. But at that time, I was at 3-4% kidney function with a hemoglobin of 5.5, and I was doing investor meetings and hospital runs, blood match testings to find a donor, and at the same time, pitching, because I was like, I have to close this round before I get my transplant. But fortunately, my mom was a match, and she donated a kidney to me. And it all went so seamlessly. Like 4th November, we did our press release, everything done. Friday, Monday, I checked into the hospital. I had my surgery. 2 weeks later, back home, back to work from home. So a lot of people ask me that how did you manage 2 things at the same time when they're so different, right? And I always say that, that is the ultimate lesson in life, right? That gratitude is a big thing. Focus on what you have versus what you don't. And always believe that the universe has your back. I always believe that I will be fine and my life will continue as normal and I will build this business. I will raise that money. And that's what happened. Faith delivered. Faith is a very, very powerful thing. So, with that, I feel that, these are the things and these are the thoughts that have shaped me a lot. And I want you all to remember that it's important to realize that very often you're living inside one of your answered prayers right now while you wait for the next one. So there's always room to be grateful. Don't forget that gratitude. And remember that consistency, hard work are very underrated aspects of success. You always need them around. So with that, I want to just, thank you all for sharing this time with me. I know I'm out of time. I can see it here. So thank you very much. And do check out Cash Karo and Karo. And if you are starting a business, wish you all the best. Don't be scared. Thank you.
Check. Swati, I'll ask you to just be here for one more minute.
Okay.
Thank you for inspiring countless women like us and even men there. Thank you for breaking all those ceilings and, by example. I'll request the team to bring a token of appreciation, please.
Yeah.
Just get the bag, yeah. Everybody are hungry, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know we're standing in between you and lunch, but don't worry, we have Ankur Variku coming up soon.
Yes.
So he is a
So
good
she's
friend
doing
of
my
mine.
job as well.
I know, but he's a good friend, so I'm always cheering for all friends.
Thank you. I
Thank
hope
you so
Bangalore
much.
treats you well and we
Yes.
hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.
So I'll now welcome Gianna to give an introduction to Mr. Ankur Variko. Just be here for a couple of more minutes.
A warm good afternoon, everyone. I would ask you all to tighten your seat belts because the next person is someone who needs no introduction. So with a community of 13 million followers across all social media platforms, he empowers young professionals through his startup, WebBather, which has already transformed the lives over a lot of students. And he's the 3-time best-selling author with Do Epic Shit, Get Epic Shit Done, and Make Epic Money, inspiring readers across 63 countries. And his journey on lifespan leadership roles at nearby.com, Groupon India, and Jobbank.com, earning him accolades like Fortune 40 Under 40 and Forbes Top Digital Creators. So let's welcome the legend Ankur Variko on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's lots of clouds.